Morning, guys. It's Louis in the southwest UK. Not quite awake yet. We're here defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. That's what we're all about. I had a very long comment come in. I wanted to read it you, but I want to introduce our channel to more channels, more Elvis channels, so that we can come together, all the different Elvis channels. And I'm asking your help, guys. So, in case you're new to this channel, the mission of our channel on our live streams is to defend Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. We're searching for the truth together with Team Elvis. We call our group Team Elvis. I am part of Team Elvis. I'm very proudly part of Team Elvis. And the mission of our channel is to defend Elvis on all aspects of his life. It's not just about the way they speak about Elvis because of Priscilla and the divorce. But there's many other things. There are many things. I am posted things from some great people on here every day. And people send me brilliant things. And like a good example is Rose. Rose sends me some great stuff. Yes. And very interesting things. Like today I was being sent things about hi Livy, morning to you. Hi Elvis Presley. I get sent loads of great stuff and it's constant, and I think we're very lucky. So I had a lot of stuff sent to me today about Joe Esposito. Now, I don't really know much about Joe Esposito, but I'm gonna read all these things that I received. I just feel lucky. Anyway, so I've got a plan. Hi, Linda. I'm just waiting for a few more to join. My plan is to try and introduce our channel to more Elvis channels. That's why I've titled this video Elvis, Rare Elvis Photos. Can we get him to mention our channel? Part of the reason I chose him for today was because he posted thanks Elvis Presley. Part of the reason I chose him is because he's just posted a video which I've just watched, which I thought was really interesting. Let's jump over there. Now, obviously, I won't play other people's other people's videos because I'm not allowed to. But he's definitely one of the channels that. All right, Elvis. Let's just go. Let's hop over there. So this is his channel. We're going to do a review of this channel. Now, the thing I did notice. Rare Elvis Photos. I know it's not very clear, guys. Just so you know, I've only just woke up, so I'm a bit, I will wake up. What's it about? Hi, Linda. Morning, Linda. Hope you're well. What's it about? This morning's live stream, I want to read out some of your comments. There was one comment that I was sent, a very long comment. I wanted to read it because it really does spell out. Let me just get the name of the person who sent the comment. It is Teresa Gilbreth. Teresa Gilbreth. I'm going to read her comment because I thought that comment basically says everything that we worry about as Elvis fans, where we want to defend him. So I'm going to read that. And I'm going to read a few others as well. I'll give you an example of the stuff I was sent. Like, this is Joe Esposito talking about Elvis. And the write-up above it says, "Hi guys, have you noticed that after Vernon died and Prissy became trustee, people like Joe Esposito and Jerry Schilling were everywhere calling themselves Elvis's best friend, talking about how close they were to him." But then this clip, if you break it down and read it, let's have a look. Shall I read a bit? I'll read a bit of it. Right. Elvis would have gladly done for free. He was Presley's personal aide, bodyguard, and confidant. He managed the Singer's Ranch, Mississippi, and was in charge of Presley's fleet of cars. Whenever the Presley entourage visited Southern California, Fortas served as chauffeur for Priscilla Buelow. Presley, because Elvis wouldn't allow the wife to drive on the freeways. So Fortas was by Presley. Sorry, it's very small text, guys. It's really small. And he was inducted into the US Army. Right, let's just get to the point of this a minute. Right. Before they even met, Presley and Joe Esposito had something in common. The singer and the General Telephone Company employee were both drafted around the same time. They met and stationed in the Army in 1958. So let's just jump through a minute. Guys, it's a really long clip. I'm not going to read that now. The one I want to read is the one that Teresa sent me. So, hi, Luann in Australia. How are you? I've got your comments as well. Anyway, so let's go back to the original thing that I was saying. So, I wonder if we can get rare Elvis photos to give our channel a mention. So, you guys, what I noticed is many of you guys are members or subscribers to that particular Elvis channel. So you guys, when you go on there, can you give us a shout? Give Team Elvis and Defending Elvis Presley. Can you give them a shout? And I'll hop over there now. My intention is to try and bit by bit go through the channels that you guys like. I keep seeing your comments on certain different channels, like Elvis, I'm the Man. Tell me your favorite channels now, guys. Just mention us. Let's get more people talking about us. Of course, I am chuffed to bits that Presley Mania and Rhonda and Tenderly Loving Elvis, Shauna mentioned us. But I'm thinking now we need to grow this channel so that we can get this movement moving, so more people are talking about our intention to defend Elvis Presley using Team Elvis. I think we need to sort of do a bit of this, spread our wings. So I'm asking your help, guys. Yeah, I know it's winter there in Luann, isn't it, Luann? It's strange to think that it's winter in Australia. So I watched Elvis's rare. He did a video. He's done 2 videos. I'm not going to play them. One of them is Priscilla Presley, The Devil in Disguise. Can't really see it, but just so you know, it's rare Elvis photos. He's got 59,000 subscribers. He's very popular. So and then the other video, this is the one I watched this morning. Well, I actually watched both of them. Obviously, he calls her the devil in disguise. Right, the dogs will be coming down now. Kids might be coming down, so let's see what we can do. It's quite a short video, but I like it. So I recommend you go and watch it, guys. I'm going to comment on it. Let's comment. Should we comment on the channel? I'm going to say hello. Right, we're going to comment on rare Elvis photos, yeah? Hello. Love you. I'm going to say love you. Love your channel. Love your channel. Please, can you mention our channel and our Team Elvis? Yeah, does that sound right to you guys? and then we'll just type in the name of the channel. Defending Elvis Presley. If any of you want to do it with me now, go ahead. Do any of you want to put a comment on now while we're here together so I can read it? Hello, love your channel. Please, can you mention our channel? Our team Elvis, defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. I always promote other channels, guys. I always promote the channels. I always promote Rare Elvis Photos. It's a great channel. Right, posted it. So I know you can't really see it, but so when I'm looking at these channels and I go through some of the names, I recognize a lot of your names. So sometimes I'll just, right, Deborah's on here, see? So I'll just click, hi, Deborah. And I'll say hi, Team Elvis. So we are watching the same channels, aren't we? We're watching, let me just read your comments. Yeah, Linda, we need to. Have you thought of multi-channel teams meetup? Oh, do you know what, Matt? Hi, Matthew. I'd love to do all that stuff. I just don't know how to. So Louis, yeah, I really do hope to do one with Shauna and Rhonda. I still know, someone told me you have to use a thing called Google Team. So I just need to know how to do it. I need to learn. Hi, I just want to be your teddy bear. Hi, Gio. Do you know what? When I woke up this morning singing "Don't," and if you guys know the word "don't." When I feel like this. Let's have a look. I'm preparing a lawsuit, Elvis fans against Priscilla. Just joking. Hi, Linda. That's a good one, Gio. Hi, Louis from Linda. We got 2 Lindas on. Yeah, it's so good. Word, shall I type it in? Don't. Elvis song. I wonder if it comes up with the words. Elvis song. Don't. Let's see if the words come up. Lyrics. Morning, brother. My brother's on. Andreas. Right, the words. I know that's Don't Be Cruel. We're not doing Don't Be Cruel. We're doing Don't. So, guys, if any of you want to just pop over and put a comment on to Elvis Rare Photos, see if we can encourage him to. That is going to help us. This is our plan, guys. We're going to expand. It just keeps giving me the lyrics of Don't Be Cruel. Andreas, what we're doing this morning, my brother, we are going on to our favorite Elvis channels, and we're posting a comment to say, can they give our channel and Team Elvis a mention? And the one I'm talking about at the moment is Rare Elvis Photos, which is a great channel, brilliant channel, highly recommend it. And I was just looking at the last 2 videos that they posted. One was about Priscilla, and the other one was reading out the fans' comments. I'll just tell you a few of his Elvis Rare Photos other videos. You've got one of Elvis Presley's finest interviews. You've got Joel Weishanker puts Priscilla in her place. Well, we know that happened with the NBC news interview when they were talking about the Bridget Cruz situation and the auctioning of the jacket and the jet. Then we've got Another one that's called Priscilla Presley Interview Defending Elvis and Lisa. Then we have, then he's done another one, a GI Blues Rare Interview. It's just, we've got quotes by Elvis. You know, he does great work. So we've got Elvis Amazing Artistic Rare Photos. Then he's done one with the Bridget Cruz lawsuit, which is called Battle Over the Presley Name. Who is the victim? Because don't forget, as far as we know, Priscilla sold the name, image and likeness, name, image and likeness to Bridget, but not the name Presley, because she had already sold the name Presley to Elvis Presley Enterprises years and years ago. So I think, from what I know, Bridget is allowed to use the word Priscilla and the way she looks and her image. And as far as I know, Bridget was involved in the imaging of the movie Priscilla film by Sofia Coppola. So, Super D, how are you? From West Georgia. We've got Nivea in Nivea, is that a new name? Morning, Nivea. We've got a couple of new names on here. So I'm going to read a comment. So, Ellie, just to say, Rare Elvis Photos, this is to you. If you could please give our channel a mention, we will be so pleased. I'm just going to quickly tell you his description. He's in the United States. I actually don't know his name. Do any of you know his name? Rare Elvis Photos is dedicated to helping educate Elvis fans and protect the legacy of Elvis. Email me. Then he says his email. Then it says Elvis 2022 channel is with what Rare Elvis Photos was formerly known as. Okay, so he had a former channel. I'm just interested to see if he says his name. I don't see his name here, so I can say hello. Just so you know, Rare Elvis Photos, we love your channel, and many of our subscribers, members, Team Elvis, we watch your channel. Please give us a shout. That's what we'd like. Right, I'm going to go over to these comments. So this comment is a long comment. Now, obviously, we are called Defending Elvis Presley. So I'm going to read this off to you. I've only read it once, so I'm not 100% sure what it's going to say. But, you know, we are constantly together trying to find different ways where we can protect Elvis's image, legacy, reputation, and disagree with what we think some people say about Elvis. Well, thousands of people say about Elvis that are just, in our opinion, we don't think it's correct. We think people need to do their research and understand the truth before they can spread sort of, I think, malicious rumors. And the way I feel that we can defend Elvis is by breaking down every year of his life, starting from his childhood, each year, and researching each year. Yeah. So when I find that when we break down each year, going right from, say, 1950, obviously his childhood in Tupelo, and then we break it all down. And as we get to 1977, we start to understand a different story, and that things that we think about, for example, Priscilla Presley, in my opinion, we may have been misled. Yeah. In my opinion, maybe some of the things in this book are not fully accurate. Obviously, this was written by Priscilla Presley after Elvis died. So we start to understand that there's another whole story that runs alongside this book that is different. So we are trying to get to the truth of that. And it's not easy, guys. So I'm just trying to read your comments at the same time. Right, so I'm going to start reading this comment from Teresa Gilbreth. It came in last night whilst I was asleep. I'm glad this is a country where we can voice our opinions. In my opinion, Sally is either a Scientologist, a minion working with Priscilla PR to try to repair Priscilla's reputation, or she's being paid off by Priscilla. Right. So, okay. So I've just twigged. She's talking about Sally Hoddle. This is her opinion. The author of Destined to Die Young. And we know that that's been a hot topic recently because of the 44-minute video that she posted on YouTube. And in our opinion, we feel that she was very critical of Elvis Presley fans. And we also feel that she was calling us haters. And many of the Elvis channels were also, she gave the impression she felt many Elvis channels are also hateful. So this is obviously Teresa's response. Let's have a look. I don't know of any other woman that has left her husband for a married man with a child and one on the way, lived and dated many, many men, had a legitimate child with another man, and then she thinks she has the right to come back and put her nose in anything to do with Elvis as his legacy and make millions off him. And she's obviously talking about Priscilla. Now, this is Teresa's opinion. Sally said that she didn't like what Lamar Fike did, especially after Elvis died. Well, what does she think everything that Priscilla has done since Elvis died? She's got Vernon on his deathbed to make her the trustee over Lisa's trust, where per Marco Garibaldi said Priscilla and Barry Siegel were scamming Lisa, and Priscilla making $13 million off the 85% sale to EPE. She took $900,000 per year off Lisa to be a trustee without ownership or doing anything significant of that amount of money. On top of doing that, she was using the Presley name to get her foot in the door around the world and making millions. Then when Lisa died, she found out Lisa had left $30 million. No, she found out that Lisa had left $30 million insurance policy. A few of you have mentioned this. Lisa Marie, after she passed, had a $30 million insurance policy. She takes Riley to court and gets $1 million payoff to walk away as trustee. Her lawyer fee was $400,000 was paid for her. And she was made an advisor of Graceland, which pays her $100,000 per year for 10 years, or sooner if she dies. Okay. Guys, I have to say it's opinion. I have to cover myself. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. So I'm just quickly checking who's with us. Good morning, all of you. I'm not fully awake yet, guys, so my reading's a bit, but I'm starting to wake up. Let's have a look. Right, here we go. She also got Riley to put into writing the EPE could not sue Priscilla. She got all of her personal belongings from Graceland and from storage. Then, right, so I've heard about this. A few of you have mentioned this. So after Lisa Marie died, is it true that Priscilla got all of her personal belongings and put them into storage? Is that true, guys? Then she got Navarone 1/9 of Lisa's trustee. We know about that. That was part of the agreement with Riley Keough, yeah. I wish Elvis Presley Enterprises would investigate Priscilla to see where she got all the items she had sold over the years. That's a great point, isn't it? That is a great point. I know Michael Edwards said when Elvis died, she cleared some of the houses out and she took what she wanted, plus told him he could have what he wanted. Now, we know about Michael Edwards. He wrote the book. He was her boyfriend. He was a male model. It was a very public romance. I think he did some acting as well. And in his book, a bit weirdly, he admitted that he had feelings for Lisa Marie when she was very young, like 12 years old or something, which obviously that is going to outrage fans. But again, this is not fact. This is opinion. This is what we're told from comments. Right. Let's have a look. I mean, I find that shocking, right? If she got Lisa Marie's belongings and put them into storage because they had a value, I do find that shocking. Let's quickly read your comments. I agree. Yeah, I mean, we can't say that it's true, guys. That's Linda. We can only, I'm reading comments. I'm putting it out to you guys, and you decide what you think. We can go off and do some research. But that's as good as it gets, really, isn't it? Another good day for Team Elvis. The more I hear about Prissy, it makes me angry. She was and is wicked, devious woman. She has no maternal feelings that comes from Scientology. This is Rosemary. Hi, Rosemary. All the kids are awake. Hi. Morning. I was just doing a live. Oh, you got more flowers, have you? Morning, everyone. So we've got Tino is here. Hi, Tino. Right. So, Rosemary, because we're on YouTube, I am just trying to. How can I nicely say it? I don't want to come across. Right, Tina, just be quiet a minute. Yeah, I have his phone's over there. I'm trying to do it respectfully. I don't want to upset YouTube. I don't want to come across hateful. So I'm trying to we have very strong views about Priscilla. I definitely do. I'm very disappointed with many things that she may have done in an opinion. I want our channel to come across in a respectful way. So I don't really want any name calling, because I don't think it's good for us. I think we need to just do our research and find the truth and get it out there. So this comment is really good for that, because Teresa isn't just name calling. She's breaking down the facts. She's giving us the information that we need, and then we can go off and do our research, and then we can decide for ourselves what is true. Now remember, I am not a Priscilla fan. I'm an Elvis fan. But I want us to do things in a way where we're not going to get told off by YouTube. Rosemary, Rosemary, I respect you. Of course, you're entitled to your opinion. I have a fine balance. I have to keep YouTube happy. Otherwise, they'll just shut us down. If we come across hateful, they will shut this channel down. There will be no defending Elvis Presley. So we got to do things within the rules. We don't have a choice. Right. And I say that respectfully, because Rosemary, you know I love you. Right. Let's keep going. He said he didn't want to take anything. He said Priscilla took one of Elvis's canes, but Navarone said on one of his IG rants that Bridget stole a whole warehouse of Priscilla things, which I've heard was Elvis memorabilia. And now, of course, if that is true, that infuriates me. If Bridget Cruz is involved in taking a whole warehouse of Elvis memorabilia to put to auction, that really upsets me. Yeah. And we don't know if that happened. We can't prove that. But if that's true, it's going to upset all of us, isn't it? Hi, Pat. Morning to you. Morning from the UK. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Priscilla said that she took Riley to court because the signature was forged. We know about this. Her name was spelled wrong. We know about this. And she was not notified that Lisa had changed her will and took Priscilla off and put Riley and Benjamin on to replace it. Then we're very aware, aren't we, guys, of what happened just after Lisa Marie died, what Priscilla did. Benjamin on to replace her. Barry said he was notified that he had been removed, and the judge said that the trust was legit. So why did Riley have to give anything? I agree. I think I'm allowed to say this. I personally think I like Riley Keough. I think she's lovely. I'm really looking forward to her book signing. I would love to go because I know she's doing book signings around the world where you get a signed picture and you get to meet her special guest who we don't know who that is. But I do think, in my opinion, I do think Riley was too generous with Priscilla. I do. And I think many of the things that Riley agreed to, Priscilla, the fans are not happy about it. Obviously, the being buried at Graceland, but not just that. Paying her legal fees, $400,000. Also making Navarone 1/9. You know, he's an heir to 1/9 of Gracelands, and the $1 million payoff. It infuriates the Elvis fans. Yasmin, you got to be quiet. It infuriates the Elvis fans. So I'll be honest with you, I don't like how much Priscilla got. I think it was too much. I think Riley was probably too soft with her. It's too nice. I think she was in a difficult position when she's trying to keep everyone happy. Ultimately, you can't take away the fact it is her grandmother. So she may come to regret the things that she agreed. I also think that this money that was given to Priscilla, well, come on, that money belongs to Riley and the twins, Finley and Harper. So my view is that Priscilla took money out of her twins' pocket and out of Riley Keough's pocket. So just my opinion, I think Priscilla has been very greedy, very, very greedy. And I'm very upset with the terms of the divorce settlement that she had with Riley Keough. I also completely disagree with the fact that she at first wanted to be joint trustee with Riley Keough. That makes no sense. Again, my opinion. It makes no sense after poor Lisa Marie died, God rest her soul, that Priscilla wanted to be joint trustee with Riley. It doesn't make any sense. Of course, when Lisa Marie passes, of course, it's going to go to Riley Keough and go to the kids, you know, Finley and Harper, who are now 16. So to me, I don't want to say an extreme word, but I'm going to me, from my opinion, based on the facts that we are told, I feel that Priscilla robbed Riley Keough and the twins, her grandkids. But this is just an opinion. I think we're allowed opinions. I think YouTube does let us have opinions. So let's have a look. Priscilla said that she took Riley to court because the signature was forged, her name was spelled wrong, and that she was not notified of Lisa of the change that in the will. Right, we know that. Riley and Benjamin on it to replace it. Here we go. Funny Barry said he was notified that he had been removed, and the judge said that trust was legit. So why did Riley have to give her anything? She also, to the best of Riley's ability, gets to be buried with Elvis. Why should any ex deserve any of this? When she walked away, divorced Elvis, and got 2 settlements, and said no longer wanted to be married to Elvis. This is only my opinion. I've read a lot about them since way back. So, you know, she hits the nail on the head, doesn't she? Teresa really loudly, she says it's an opinion, but she very loudly says what many of you are saying to me. Yeah? So you guys, Elvis fans, do not, you know, obviously Lisa Marie fans as well, because we all love Lisa Marie. Sometimes I forget to say that. I'm very passionate about Lisa Marie. She means the world to me. I really connected with Lisa Marie as a child, and I grew up through the decades adoring Lisa Marie. So we're not just defending Elvis, we're defending Lisa Marie Presley. So, and we're proud to do it, guys. So let's just keep looking. So I just want to go through those points again. Now, you guys don't feel that Priscilla should be buried at Graceland, and I'm on your side. There is a thing, because Benjamin and Lisa Marie are buried there, and they are her child and grandchild. That to me does create a dilemma. I don't know the answer to that dilemma. Maybe you guys have got an idea, Team Elvis. So then she says, why should an ex deserve any of this? Now, I have strong views about the divorce. I have strong views about the fact that Priscilla was unfaithful at the height, at the main part of the marriage. So we've gone through it a million times on this channel. We know, in our opinion, but we know it has been admitted in this book on page 262. Shall I quickly it's only a few words. Even though I think many things in this book are not correct, I will just read that one line. She spends, look, it's page 262. She spends a lot of it describing, she uses his name as the word Mark, but we know it's Steve Peck, the dance instructor, the guy that owned the dance studio. He was a 39-year-old man. And some people say he was Gregory Peck's son, but I don't think he was. Do any of you know, was he Gregory Peck's son? I don't think he was. But I keep reading it over and over. But at once she basically says that she was having dance lessons with him. She fell in love with him. She couldn't stop thinking about him. She would go back to where she was living with Elvis. I'm not sure which home she was in. And she couldn't stop thinking about Steve Peck. She had basically fallen in love with Steve Peck. And then at one point, she ends it with a very short few words. I had a brief affair and decided to end it. I had a brief affair and decided to end it. This is page 262 of her book. Yeah. Now, you guys know that I think this book is more of a story. It's not fact, in my opinion. Most of this is just Priscilla's version of events to try and make her look good and Elvis look bad. But that is just my opinion. So she admits this. So what Teresa is saying is, why has Priscilla been entitled to so many things when she had an affair with Steve Peck, which then led on to the other affair with Mike Stone in 1971 that happened secretly for a year. And obviously it all came out eventually. And then Priscilla demands a divorce in 1972. She demands a divorce in 1972. So Teresa is basically saying she doesn't deserve any of these things. She wasn't even his widow. She was never his widow. She had also given up the name Presley in the first divorce settlement. So she has a great point. Why did Riley Keough agree to all these things when Priscilla was never even his widow? Was never his widow. They had been divorced 4 years before he died. And she makes a great point. I'm going to finish reading this comment and I'm going to go through your comments. Then she also, to the best of Riley's ability, gets to be buried with Elvis. Why should any ex deserve any of this? And I agree. It is odd to be buried with your ex. Do you guys agree with that? Who gets buried with their ex? It's like me. If I die now, I want to get buried with my ex-girlfriend. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? It doesn't add up. That she divorced, that she gave up his name, that she crucified in in 2 divorce settlements. The second divorce settlement, in my opinion, was so cruel. It forced Elvis to sell his music rights because there's no way he could afford. And actually, talking about rare Elvis photos, he mentions the divorce settlement, and it was as much on the second divorce settlement. It was as much as $1.5 million. Now that was an absolute fortune. And it is said, this is all opinions, it is said that the divorce settlement, the second divorce settlement, was so severe on Elvis, and it was happening in 1977, just before he died, that he had to sell his recording rights to RCA. He had to, so he could pay her a lump sum amount plus monthly spousal payments as well, don't forget. And she got between 5 and 10% of his recording rights. She got a percentage of it, in my opinion. But it's all out there. If you look up the documentation, guys, it's all out there. Many very good people have found these things. So, you know, my heart goes out to Elvis, what he went through in 1977, because obviously you know that the Memphis Mafia book, the Betrayal book by Red West, Mark Hebler and Sonny West, did a lot of damage to Elvis. He was so hurt just before he died, guys. And also we know that in 1977, he was seriously unwell with serious chronic medical conditions where he needed to be medicated over 40 tablets a day. And we know about this because, and I'll promote it, the book by Sally Hoddle, Destined to Die Young, breaks it all down, explains very clearly exactly that Elvis was genuinely unwell, had genuine serious health problems with his lungs, his liver, his heart, his colon, his constipation, his insomnia, and many more things. Anyway, let's get back to this message. So she's making it clear. Why the hell should Priscilla be buried with Elvis after all the circumstance, all the things that we know? This is why I like this comment, because it covers everything. So she goes on to say there was 2 divorce settlements, which we've spoke in many, many times about, and said she no longer wanted to be married to Elvis, which is completely true. She demanded a divorce. Now, we know that Elvis formally applied for the divorce, but she demanded a divorce in 1972, and Mike Stone clearly said she told him that she wanted a divorce. When she first was secretly seeing Mike Stone, which you can see the interview on YouTube, she clearly wanted a divorce. She had a plan. And Mike Stone, watch the interview, guys. It's a brilliant interview with Mike Stone. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like his character in that interview. I felt he came across very arrogant, but he admits everything. He admits the affair, what Priscilla was up to, what her intentions were, how long the affair lasted. And he talks about, obviously, when they were living together. And we know that when Priscilla was seeing Mike Stone, it was a very public affair, and the paparazzi were following them around, taking pictures when they were shopping, when they were out at the fair, with Lisa Marie, with them. And this must have been so cruel to Elvis. This must have been so cruel to Elvis to watch them living their lives, Priscilla, Mike Stone, and Lisa Marie. And Elvis had to watch that in magazines, tabloids, documentaries, you name it, TV clips. Poor Elvis, what he went through from the moment they got divorced. And I know that Elvis put on a brave face and they were trying to say that they had stayed friends, which I don't believe. I don't believe that Priscilla and Elvis stayed friends, in my opinion. I do think they spoke a lot about money, about Lisa Marie. But do I think they were good, close friends? No, I don't. Because I don't see how you can be close friends with someone that has treated you in such a severe way. I don't see how. Yeah. Come on, if someone's on the phone to you demanding more money, a second divorce settlement, and then there's obviously Elvis was always pushing to see Lisa Marie more. They would have been arguing almost every time they spoke. Do you guys agree with that? This is just my opinion, but I can't see how they were close. I do think Elvis put on a public face. So out in public, he wanted the public, because Elvis was a very proud man. He wanted the public to see that he was doing the right thing for Priscilla and the right thing. I think he also wanted the public to see that he was doing the right thing for Lisa Marie. And to be honest with you, I think Elvis was quite embarrassed about all of it. He was obviously very embarrassed that she had run off with another man after a beautiful marriage. Remember, they had a beautiful marriage. And I think for a couple of years, Elvis was faithful until he found out she was unfaithful. Yeah. I think Elvis tried to be a good husband, a good father at first. But I do think that once Priscilla had been unfaithful, that he'd had enough. He was like, that's it. I'm going to get on with my life. And yes, he went on to have different girlfriends like Susan Henning, who we all know about. Yeah? You're right? So kids are over there. So you get what I'm saying, guys. Right, let's just read the rest of this comment. So, and this ridiculous thing that people say that Elvis wouldn't sleep with a woman that had a child. It's just so unfair to Elvis. Elvis wouldn't sleep with Priscilla because she had an affair with another man. Come on, guys. No man's going to sleep with his wife that's had an affair with another man just after the baby's born. No man's going to do that. This is the real reason why Elvis wouldn't sleep with Priscilla, not this stupid lie that says that he won't sleep with a woman that's had a child. It's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. Everything I say is opinion. Right, let's keep going. Right, this is right. So she goes on to say, "This is my opinion. Teresa is just an opinion of Teresa's, but I've read a lot about them since way back and before they married up to now, and she's done nothing but to destroy his legacy and make millions doing it." And many of you feel this way. Many of you feel this way. This is why we're here, guys. This is why Team Elvis, you are Team Elvis, are here. We are here to defend Elvis Presley, and fans want the truth. Fans want the truth. That is everything. That is everything to me. So we just want it out there, don't we? We want to get the truth out there. We want other people to join us, other Elvis fans, obviously as many Elvis fans as possible, so we can grow Team Elvis, as many other Elvis channels as possible, which is why on this video I'm saying, come on, let's get other channels to give us a mention on their channels. And today we're saying to Rare Elvis Photos, please give us a mention, defending Elvis and Team Elvis. Please give us a mention so we can spread the word, so we can join together and grow and become a bigger movement that can make a difference.
Daddy,
Hello, beautiful.
you said when we were doing those things yesterday, you said that you'd do a part 2 today.
Yes, we are going to do a part 2. What it is, we did a movie special yesterday. We were playing all the movies and we were having a quiz. So we are going to do part 2 a bit later. So if you want to watch the movie stuff, guys, last night's live stream, and Yasmin was making the medals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where are they? Look, Yasmin was making the medals. This was, I think, whose medal was this one? Do we remember? And this we gave this as a medal to someone as well. So basically, we did a movie.
And we gave this one to Stacy.
I think Stacy was given this one.
And we gave this one to Colin.
This one's to Colin. Oh, you got a good memory. Colin won this medal. So
no, who won it? Who won this one?
This one, I don't remember this.
So
it's Patricia, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. Was it Patricia?
Yeah.
Yes, Pat, I think, won that one. They're all saying hello to you.
Hi.
So anyway, guys, so we are going to do part 2 of the movie trivia quiz game. We're going to go through some more of the movies. We're going to play some trailers, and we've got some questions for you, but we're going to do that later. Right, let's have a look. Let's finish off that comment. Right, so this is Teresa's comment. So we'll keep going. How can Sally say that Lamar upset her, but she upholds Priscilla? So she's mentioning the 44-minute video that Sally Hoddle posted on YouTube. And Sally Hoddle does have opinions in that video that says things like she didn't like Lamar Fike, that she didn't like one of Elvis's movies. So what Teresa is saying, and that it's not fair that Sally can give her point of view, but we're not allowed to give ours because we were called haters. The Elvis channels were called hating channels. So Teresa is basically saying you're allowed to have your opinion, and we're not. She has a good point. I pray that she's not being bought off for her upload to Priscilla. Now, I keep getting this comment. Many of you think that the reason Sally Hoddle, the author of the book Destined to Die Young, posted that 44-minute video, basically calling us haters, in my opinion, calling Elvis channels haters, in my opinion. Many of you think it's because she's thinking of writing Priscilla's next book, because Priscilla has been hinting that she's going to write a book. Now, do you guys think that? Is it possible? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I pray that she is not being bought off for her to uphold Priscilla. One of the clauses regarding Lisa's trust said that the people receiving money cannot be on drugs. Right, so now this is the last bit of this message. So Teresa is talking about Navarone. We know Navarone is Marco Garibaldi's son and Priscilla's son. She's talking about his drug problems. He's obviously has issues, you know. You can catch Navarone on his IG. Is that Instagram? Sometimes on a rant. He is rolling a joint, smoking, stoned out of his mind. Has white powder all over his shirt, so he should not be eligible for one night of Lisa's trust. Yeah, so I've read this, that written into the trust, the Elvis Presley Enterprises, is it, or the trust? Actually, he's 15% of the trust belongs to Riley Keough, but written into the trust of Gracelands, which we know is separately owned, there is a clause: if you take drugs, you're not entitled. You're not entitled to anything. So she's saying because of that, Navarone shouldn't be getting anything. I got all this information from reading Elvis historians or channels that Elvis's cousins do. I do myself have no proof. So she admits there is no proof. I trust these family members and historians. And she highly recommends Billy Smith's channel, isn't it? So that's called Elvis's Cousins. So we know that Billy Smith's channel is a brilliant channel, and we're going to do a completely separate video on that one. Isn't it called something like Painting Fences with Elvis? Is that right? So we get the gist. I mean, that was a long comment. It just covers so much, so many points. And Elvis fans matter. That's it, Sue. We're going to cover that. We're going to do a video separately just about the Elvis fans matter, which is a brilliant channel. We love Billy Smith. It's one of our favorite Memphis Mafia members. I'm just going to get it up. And isn't his son, as far as I know, his son has one as well. So Elvis fans matter. Just seeing, does his son have a channel as well? Let's just see if it comes up. So, we all know this channel, and we're going to ask them if they'll give us a mention as well. But we'll do that on another video. We'll talk about Elvis fans matter, and we'll ask them if they'll give our lovely channel and Team Elvis if they'll give us a shout. Yes, Memphis Mafia Kid, that's the other one. We'll do one video on them. We'll review their channel, and then we'll together, whilst we're live, we'll ask them if they'll give Defending Elvis a mention and Team Elvis a mention. That would be nice. So I'm going to just try and go through some of your comments. Yes, I'm coming. 1 second. All right. I'm going to make a coffee. Right, let's have a look. All right. While I make a coffee, I'm going to play you something. Let me. No. An interview. So I want to make a coffee, guys. Right.
Taken in Hawaii. He
seemed to be getting a little tired then, so it
was both.
Right. Because it's going to take me a few minutes to make this coffee, so I thought I'm going to play you something. I do want to try and whiz through your comments as well. Let me just get my stand. Yes. I'll get my stand. Okay. Right, Tino, turn that down, please. Okay, guys, I'll play this while I just quickly make my coffee so you don't have to stare at my kitchen. Okay, here we go. Right, let's go a bit nearer. This is a very old interview, I think from the 1980s. I'm not going to tell you what it is, I'm going to surprise you.
Frightened and flattered to be introduced to her lifelong idol, Elvis Presley, and it turned into a fairy tale romance. The world of Elvis was one of exotic cars and unscheduled jet trips to Hawaii, beautiful clothes and beautiful people, and endless excitement. At 4 a.m. on August 16th, as their wedding plans. 10 hours later, Ginger found Elvis dead. Tell me about the last time that you saw Elvis, the last day that you were with him.
The last day.
He was getting ready to go on a concert, right?
Yes, and he was in a good mood and nervous because of a tour. And he mentioned something to me about playing racquetball, and I said, yes, I wanted to. So he called his cousin, Billy Smith, and Joe, and we went out back to where he has a racquetball court. And I didn't play racquetball. I sat, there's a glass partition where you can watch whoever is playing racquetball, and I watched him, and he would do funny things and try and see if we were laughing. And then he seemed to be getting a little tired then, so he came out and he sat down by me. And he didn't go back out and play then, but he got up and got on a bicycle exerciser, and he was on that for about 3 minutes. And then it was early morning, and we were going to go back upstairs, and he was going to go to sleep so he could get ready for his tour.
This was up in his bedroom.
Yes,
And that was the last time that you saw him?
yes.
What'd you say?
The last time I
Any
saw him.
conversation? Yeah, any conversation?
Well, he had tried to go to sleep, and he stood up one time, and he had a book in his hand. I don't know the name of it, but it was a religious book. And he turned around and looked at me, and he said he was going to go in the bathroom and read. And I said, okay. And that was when he walked into the bathroom.
And then you left, went downstairs? Or...
No, I stayed there. I'd fallen asleep there, and I stayed there. And I was going to get ready and come home later that day and pack to go on the tour.
And then when did you see him next?
That was when I walked in. I noticed, of course, he'd been in there for some time. And I called
What time is this now?
This was 2:20, about 2:30.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
about, 6 hours had passed?
It must have been about 6 hours.
And then you went back into the room, and do you remember what you saw?
That was when I went to the bathroom, and that was when I found him.
I imagine that must have been a shocking experience for you, obviously.
Yes, and it was, of course, much worse because he had just been discussing the wedding plans that same morning.
What went on in the house afterwards?
Well, of
A lot
course.
of confusion?
Oh, yes. It was something so unbelievable. People were all in different rooms praying, and it was just like something that couldn't be happening.
How has that affected your life?
It's just so difficult to from that level. I feel like what Martin Luther King said, I've been to the top of the mountain, and I'm just trying to adjust now, but it's very difficult for me.
Tomorrow night, some happier memories. Ginger recalls her first date with Elvis and some of the things they did together in a romance that, well, was fated to end all too soon. Jerry?
Yes. Coming up next is ready with the third in his series on Elvis Presley and the girl who planned to marry him.
Jerry, Ginger Alden, the girl Elvis planned to marry, showed me a photograph of her with Elvis Presley, which she said had not been seen publicly before. It was taken in Hawaii, his favorite place to work or play. She had another unusual photo. The recruiting officer at the time of Elvis's induction into the Army was her father. I asked Ginger a question on behalf of millions of American women. What is a date with Elvis Presley like? What do you do?
Well, it's very different. I went up to see him, and he'd been telling me about his Ferrari, his car that he had. And then he asked me if I would like to go for a ride in his Stutz Blackhawk. And I said yes. And then after a while, he said to go on a ride in his small plane, the Lockheed Jetstar, around the city. So the plane was just beautiful when I first saw it because I had never seen anything like that. And the pilot, Milo High, was very, very nice. And I sat down, and after a few moments, Elvis said, "Everybody hold it." And he had this kind of smile on his face, and he said, "I'll be back in a minute." And he got off the plane and jumped back in his studs. And he must have gone to Graceland because he returned. And he said, "We're going to Las Vegas." And he'd gotten pajamas for everyone. And he asked me if it would be all right. And I was in such shock. I said, "Yes, I'll call my mother when I get back." So
So your first official date, instead of a spin around Memphis, you went to Vegas.
right.
What'd you do in Vegas?
This was really fun. Everybody slept when we got there. We just stayed there a half of a day and returned the next day. Everybody was so tired from the trip.
When did Elvis propose, and how did he propose?
It was on January the 26th, one afternoon. And I had been up at Graceland. And he had been in the other room. He always had things going on around me that I never knew about. And he took my hand and took me into the lounge area of his bathroom. And I sat down in a black chair. And he got down on his knees. And
All right, guys,
then he asked me, he just said, "I'm asking you, will you marry me?" And of course I said yes. It was just, it was also beautiful.
And then what were your plans? When were you going to be married? When was the announcement going to be made?
He was going to make the announcement when he played here the Saturday night. He was going to have his concert here in Memphis from the stage. And he had been discussing the type of dress. He said that he had had some people working on one in Los Angeles and that it would have small rosebuds with little gold threads through it. And he wanted me to wear glass slippers and a little tiara on my head. And he said, "It's got to be the wedding of the century."
Tomorrow night, Ginger talks about Elvis's reaction.
You with Ginger Alden, the girl who planned to marry Elvis Presley before his tragic death. By the way, Chuck, last week's Ginger mother filed a suit against the Presley estate, trying to get it to pay her $40,000 in mortgage money because she said Elvis had promised to do that before he died.
And he furnished the family with a home and a swimming pool, and now the mother wants it all paid for. Elvis Presley's generosity was well known. He didn't advertise it, but the people who benefited from it did. Ginger Alden, the girl he planned to marry, was one of those. The 12-carat ring on her finger was a gift from Elvis. So were the expensive cars parked around her home in Memphis. Elvis was very good to a lot of people, and Ginger now feels that some of them were less than good to him. There's been a lot of things said about him. Former bodyguards that were close to him said he was on drugs, lived the life of a hermit, very emotional person. What can you tell us about these things? Is there any truth to any of this?
No, I never met the three bodyguards, so I don't know them, but I can only go by what Elvis told me. And the book did upset him, but before it came out, he told me the only reason that the book was upsetting him was because it wasn't the content, it was the principle, because he had done so much for the bodyguards' families and things of that nature. And for them to turn and do something like that, that was what I think really got to him and hurt him.
How about the accusations that were in the book? They were all untrue? They'd just taken small incidents and blown them up out of proportion? Or...
Well, I haven't read the book, so I don't know. I've heard bits and pieces of it. But I'm sure the majority of it has been blown out of proportion, way out of proportion.
Did he use drugs?
No, he did not. He had certain prescribed medications that he had to have. And he took a lot of vitamins. A lot of vitamin pills were laying around in bottles. And I think a lot of people, if they ever happened to see that, mistook them for drug bottles. And I'm sure that's how those got started.
Was he concerned about his weight?
He mentioned to me one time that he knew he was getting overweight. And like that bothered him. And I would talk with him many times and try. For some reason, he wouldn't go out and do certain things when I tried to get him to go out. So we had our differences there. And I would try to get him to eat better foods. And I did get him on some health foods. And But he would go, I don't know, it might have been his nerves or what, but he would go on binges. He would eat certain types of food for a long time that really weren't that healthy for him.
Mark Todd,
Rebel, innovator, and idol of youth, really died in the 1950s. But capitalist Americans kept it alive to make money. The Russian commentator said the Presley legend has been buried in the aftermath of the singer's death in a flood of souvenirs that have, and we'll quote, lowered the name of the idol to the level of a trinket. They, of course, didn't know the Elvis Presley we did. To put him in proper perspective, tonight, the conclusion of Chuck Henry's series on Elvis Presley and the impact he had on the people around him.
Jerry, you know, if Elvis Presley had lived just 4.5 months longer, Ginger Alden would have been Mrs. Elvis Presley, but that storybook romance was not fated to end that way. These days, Ginger tries to forget the tragedy of Elvis's death and remember the good things in their relationship. And about such things, she is more than willing to talk. At what point did you fall in love with Elvis? And did Elvis fall in love with you?
Well, when I was in Las Vegas with him, this was in December. This was the first time I had been in Las Vegas while he was performing there. And he was there for 14 days, it was like. And when he mentioned it, I just kind of smiled and laughed, and I really didn't say anything. But later on, after a few months, he started telling me how much he needed me. And then I really saw that, and I realized I needed him. I needed maturity. And that was when I really realized that I was in love with him.
You know, there are millions of women who would love to trade places with you and have the kind of relationship that you had with Elvis. Was he a romantic individual?
Yes, he knew what to say. He could take anything ugly and make it sound beautiful. And he was very, very religious. And we would talk many hours each night on different philosophies. He had certain philosophies and different books. And he had a beautiful way of speaking, really.
A tender individual, a loving individual?
Yes, very. He was I've never noticed it on anybody on earth, the certain kind of love that he had. And it was true.
There's a lot of talk about what's going to become of the legend now. What would you like to see happen? You go down to Elvis Presley Boulevard and the hucksters are down there selling plastic, buttons of Elvis, you name it, his pictures on it. What would you like to see happen? Some way to preserve the memory? What?
I would like to see a very nice building erected in his memory and with his trophies on display. And I think Elvis would like that too. And I know he'll never be forgotten by millions of fans. His name will be kept on going in one way or the other.
What one thing is going to stand out in your mind years from now, 10, 15, 20 years? What is it you're going to tell your children and tell your grandchildren about Elvis Presley?
That I shared a love with one of the greatest men on earth.
Obviously, Ginger Alden is a beautiful young woman. Millions of
Do you know what? I didn't know that was lots of different clips. I thought it was just one interview, but that was excellent. That is on a YouTube channel. Obviously, loads and loads of people would have played that, but on this particular channel, it was EP Fan Archive. EP Fan Archive. That was a great. Really enjoyed that. I'm just gonna post on his channel. Love to this. Please mention our channel. Please mention our channel. Do any of you know that channel? EP Fan Archive. Defending Elvis. Loved it. So let's just have a little look while we're here, guys. I just want to, because I'm trying to learn about these different channels. So this one's called EP Fan Archive. That video was 1978. Let's have a look when the last time they posted a video was. All right, they're still posting videos because he's posted a short.
not just while he was alive, but here we are 10 years after.
Yeah, so he's posted a short about Colonel Tom Parker recently. Let's see what the videos are. Let's see. Yeah, so he's done celebrating the King of Rock and Roll, falling in love, captivating rendition of Wise Men. And he's got J.D. Summer talks about Elvis. It's really good. Really good. Do any of you know this channel? Right, let's read some of your comments, shall we? So morning, Kristen. Anyone that I've missed, good morning to you. If you're waking up later in America, good morning. Hope you're having a nice coffee like me. So Kristen says, I still think that Priscilla was pregnant before they got married because Elvis didn't really want to marry her. And the Colonel threw the wedding together fast. Also, and her dad was pressuring. Kristen, you're probably right. How many of you guys think that Priscilla was already pregnant? It's very possible, isn't it? It's very possible. Nicolette, Kristen could be true, especially given the style of the wedding dress. Then we've got Kristen. Yeah, and then we've got Melissa. That would explain the nightgown with the sparkles on it that she wore at the wedding dress, but she wouldn't be showing them. And then we've got more possibly than not. Jill, hi Jill, morning to you. Let's just read a few more of your comments. So Teresa, Elvis will never be forgotten. Elvis will always live on. He sure will. Right, let's have a look. Nicolette says, Ginger is still very beautiful. She is. She's a very respectfully beautiful, dignified woman. I think when you listen to her interviews and the stuff that she says, she's always praising Elvis. She gives us the impression that he was still very upbeat and looking forward to the future. Obviously, she says that they were looking forward to getting married at Christmas. And she says that Elvis discussed having children. So I have a lot of respect for Ginger Oldham. I personally, in my opinion, she comes across very good-hearted. This is something that I think, unfortunately, we don't get that feeling from Priscilla of a good heart. But this is just our opinions. This is how we see it on interviews. But Ginger Oldham seems lovely. So Rosemary says, I think Ginger was more beautiful. She was a natural beauty. She sure was, Rosemary. Oh, please, I think the whole thing with her mother's house is blown way out of proportion. Why don't people talk about Linda throwing a tantrum because her estate wouldn't support her parents? And there's a whole story there, isn't there? I get confused because I know there was issues with Ginger and with Linda Thompson. Is it right that Elvis is... You tell me, guys, was Elvis supposed to pay... turn that down, please. Was Elvis supposed to pay Linda's mortgage, or was Linda's parents living in a house that belonged to Elvis and Priscilla got involved? It's confusing. Yeah, and I've started to think this lately. Lorraine, I do want our channel to be defending Lisa Marie Presley as well, because obviously we do a lot about Elvis and Priscilla. Turn it down, please. Turn it down. Come on. Such a little monkey. So I do want to defend Lisa Marie a lot more. I want us to do a bit more of that because we love Lisa Marie. We watched her grow up from this young girl to a woman in her 50s. We love her. We adore Lisa Marie. She had a beautiful personality, a beautiful way about her. It's so clear that she is Elvis's daughter. Priscilla wants to be buried at the Graceland, so she will forever be part of the Presley history when she dies, and no one will be left to continue her stories, lies, or being buried at Graceland. You guys, Elvis fans, Team Elvis, that's how You feel very strongly about that. You feel very strongly. Right. What are you doing, sir? Stop showing off to the camera. This is Tino, by the way. He's 4. Let's have a look.
You can't see me.
Right, okay, you're hiding, yeah. So, Teresa, Elvis and Lisa so very much didn't care how sick Elvis was, as long as she got all the money, and that not money, that is Elvis' money, gave his for everything. Right, Teresa, you make a great comment. And I've done so much work on this particular subject, the second divorce settlement. And we've already spoke about it today, now on this live stream. When Priscilla was hammering Elvis for that second divorce settlement that she should never have done, because the first divorce settlement prevented her from going for a second divorce settlement. She did it when he was very, very unwell. When he was very unwell. And that infuriates me. I know how unwell Elvis was in 1977. And the way that, you find the documents, guys, you look up the divorce settlement, the second divorce settlement, you will be horrified how cruel and greedy and cunning that divorce settlement was at the height of Elvis's chronic illnesses. And whilst the Memphis Mafia were doing their betrayal book with Sonny West, Reb West, and Mark Hebner. So that comment is exactly correct. In my opinion, she did not care about how unwell he was. She even in interviews acts like she didn't even know he was unwell, which is rubbish. She was on the phone with him most days. She knew. In my opinion, Priscilla knew exactly how unwell Elvis was. And that's what makes it all the more cruel. And to keep saying he's the love of her life over and over again in interviews, and that she still loves him, even though we know as fans that she put him through hell. She literally put him through hell. To keep saying, like on the recent Piers Morgan interview, she says it in that one as well. And after the making of the film Priscilla, which basically makes him look terrible, that Sofia Coppola made with her, when she's interviewed by the press about that film, she's still saying it, guys. Oh, I still love him. She's still playing the widow. It infuriates me. We all know that she was never his widow, that she had been split up from him for over 4 years after, before he died. Come on. So why are we expected to believe that she still loves him? He's still the love of her life. When they had a horrific divorce, when she was unfaithful multiple times, and the way that she was with Mike Stone was just cruel. Cruel, in my opinion, guys. You know where I'm coming from, don't you, yeah? So I'm just scrolling down, trying to go through some of these comments. Yeah, the Memphis Mafia. Yeah, Kristen says about Billy Smith's channel. It seems amazing. I do watch it. Right. I'm just trying to scan through a few of these. Yeah, so Rosemary says Billy and Joe weren't invited to Lisa's funeral. When answering questions, they are very respectful, and they are lovely. I agree. I really like Billy and Joe, and them not being invited to Lisa's funeral is just wrong. The way that Billy Smith and his family have been treated is disgusting, and not just by the obvious people, also by the movie makers, the documentary makers, and the book writers. They have just been treated like they didn't exist. They've been treated like they never happened. And we all know, as Elvis fans, that they were very, very close. Elvis absolutely adored Billy, adored him. It's disgusting how Billy's been treated. And Larry Geller. I don't like the way they treated Larry Geller. They deserve better, guys. Patricia, even Billy Smith can't understand why Priscilla wants to be buried at Graceland because she hated the Presley name. You've got strong views, guys. I don't blame you. Right, let's bring it back to now so we can chat properly. I don't think Ginger was either, but her parents want to write. So I don't get a gold digger vibe off Ginger. She moved on and lived a normal life with a long, healthy relationship. She didn't make a whole career out of us. I think, as far as I know, guys, didn't she wait for her husband to die before she did her book? I think she does mention that she did a diary. After Elvis died, she started writing a diary of her time with Elvis. Hi, Vibex. The settlement was terrible. She went, right, this is Colleen. Morning, Colleen. Hope you're well. The settlement was terrible. She went after everything. After she said she didn't want anything, she just wanted her freedom, and that changed drastically. I agree. I think I've got a lot of views on Priscilla, guys, and I won't be hateful. I'll be respectful. But I tell you what, she wanted her freedom. She wanted to sow her oats. That's a very respectful way of saying it. She wanted to sow her oats. She wanted money, a lot of it. And she had a very, very fun time with all the different men. So she was no sweet angel, guys. She was no sweet innocent girl. I personally think Priscilla has got away with murder, in my opinion. Now, I don't want to hate on her. I don't hate her. I just think the way she treated Elvis and many of the decisions she has made over the last 40 years, I think have been very unfair to Elvis. And I think that the way Elvis has been portrayed, especially in the most recent film, they call it a biopic, Priscilla, with Sofia Coppola's version of this. Let's face it, Sofia Coppola's film is this as a film. Now, how can you make a film based on this book, which is just a story from Priscilla's point of view that Elvis had nothing to do with? There's no witnesses for this book. There's no signed, I can't even say the right way of putting it. I could do it, guys. I could say, look, let's do it now. Guys, let's have a bit of fun. You and me. Right, this is how ridiculous it is. I'm going to make a joke with you guys. Let's have a joke. Right, I'm using this as an example. I've decided to make a book. Da, da, da. There's my book, Louis and Elvis. Me and Elvis were best friends. We grew up together. We partied together. We did concerts together. We did the Vegas tour together. We had the best time of our lives. I can write whatever I want in this book. No one's going to disagree with me. I can write whatever I want and turn it into a bestseller. And then it can be treated as a historical book. And whenever I get questioned, all the juicy gossip that I wrote in my book will be repeated again and again and again for 30 plus years. I can write what I want. I can tell you some real seedy stories that we did together, me and Elvis. Who's going to disagree with me? The interviewers are just going to ask questions about the seedy stories. Oh, how old were they? Did this happen? Did that happen? And they're going to sensationalize my book. They're going to say things about my book that are sensationalized around the world in tabloids. Louis and Elvis. Do you get my point? Do you get my point? Let's put this like this. What is the difference between this book and this book? What is the difference? This is a story. This is a story that has been made up from the point of view of Priscilla Presley. She is the victim. Elvis is the bad guy, in my opinion. My book, well, I made it up from my point of view. This book was written from my point of view. I could say what I want. Do you get my point, guys? This is what makes this book so wrong. That it was written 7 years after he died. He had no say in it. She wrote it herself on her own. I know they say that Sandra Harmon helped her write it, but that doesn't mean anything. This was Priscilla's book. As far as we are told, every single word in this book is total truth. This is what we're told. Do you get it, guys? And anyone that interviews Priscilla, and has done since this book was released, I think it was 1985, this book is true, like total truth. This actually happened. Come on, guys. Why have the public fallen for this book? Why have they made movies based on this book? There's a melodrama, a 1988 melodrama, a TV melodrama that was released in 1988 that you can watch on YouTube, based on this book that even accuses Elvis of rape, accuses Elvis of being a drug addict, there's so many things that are said. This stupid lie that Elvis won't sleep with a woman that's had a child is just ridiculous. Anyway, I'm waffling, guys. It just infuriates me. These are all my opinions, guys. This is for entertainment purposes. Let's check some of your comments. Ginger was very young and shouldn't have left to watch our Elvis. That wasn't her job. She was his girlfriend. Then we have Melissa. That's wrong. She was a very young girl. If doctors couldn't save him, then how was she going to save him? Guys, I know many of you have views about Ginger Alden being asleep when Elvis had his heart attack. But she, at the end of the day, she was a 20-year-old woman. She was out of her depth. She was out of her depth. She had come along when Elvis was so unwell, so chronically unwell. But I understand you have very emotional views. So I'd have more respect for all the women if they would more often have said no to Elvis and stop spending money on me and don't need anything. I don't know how anyone can do this. It's just wrong. Hi, Jill. And do you know, I don't know if Elvis let them say no. I just think Elvis went into autopilot. This is just my opinion, guys. I think he would notice someone, like he would feel a connection. And I think that once he fell for someone and really liked someone, I think sometimes Elvis fell too easily. He wanted to shower them with gifts. It's hard to say no, guys. Someone's given you the most beautiful car that you've ever seen in your life, but you were a poor person with meager income, a meager lifestyle. Elvis comes along and gives you everything. It's very hard to say no. Right, look. Right, no, be quiet a minute. So, guys, when it comes to blaming people for Elvis's death, he was seriously unwell. He was chronically unwell. Every part of his body was not working. He had chronic everything: lungs, heart, liver, constipation, twisted colon. He had a very damaged, inflamed colon. He was relying on over 40 tablets a day to get him through the day. So I'll tell you who I blame for Elvis's death. His own body. His own body. His body from his 30s onwards started not working because of this so-called alpha-1 genetic disorder. His body is to blame, not Elvis, not the medication, because he needed the medication to relieve the pain and the soreness and the discomfort, just to get him through the day, so to give him energy, to help him sleep, so that he could do 2-3 shows a day in Vegas. He needed his medication. So I blame his body. It's his body's fault. His body had let him down. Elvis was so desperate. His body was falling apart. He didn't know what to do. No one could fix him. The doctors were out of their depth. They didn't know how to help him. At the very best, they could relieve his pain and discomfort. At the very best. He was too unwell, guys. He was too unwell. Right, I'm just doing a live. I'm nearly finished now. Right. Guys, I think he was so desperate. We're talking like he couldn't see a way out of it. he couldn't see a way about it. He was trying alternative types of medication, and one of the well-known ones is Dr. Nick talks about that Elvis went off to get acupuncture, and he nearly died because the person giving him the acupuncture was using real syringes and injecting strong drugs directly into his body. Hi, beautiful. You look amazing. Have a good time. So do you get what I'm saying? He was trying alternative ways of fixing himself because he was desperate. He was desperate, guys. Lisa went through a lot after her father died. Put Lisa through hell. And there was no reason to put Lisa in a cult. A different subject, Teresa. But yes, we all, as fans, Team Elvis, many Elvis fans, cannot believe that Lisa Marie Presley, at such a young age, was put into Scientology. So, and we feel that the reason that happened is so that Priscilla could be freed up, so she could get on with her life with different boyfriends and her career, her movie career, her acting. She did that TV animal series. Those, what was it called again? The animal series she did. Those Amazing Animals. You know, obviously later in life she went on to other things, but many of us Elvis fans think that Lisa Marie was in her way. She wanted her. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. Melissa, well, she never did find that really wealthy man, did she? I don't think she ever did. So we could talk about it all day, couldn't we? Right, so I'm just going to let the dogs out a minute. There you go. The dogs are awake. We know the dogs. Why wasn't Priscilla doing those things before she took the Presley name back?
Daddy.
Right. Any person, like co-lead, any person that had responsibility of caring for so many people would do whatever they had to do to take whatever they could to get them through the day. I agree, co-lead. I agree. He was too unwell. And yet casual fans watch the Priscilla movie and take it for gospel that he should sign a petition for a child bride to be made into a movie.
Daddy.
And many of you say that, guys. Many of you want this book, yes, beautiful girl, to be made into a movie.
Soon something from Amazon is
Mm.
coming. It's for my electric toothbrush.
It's probably going to come today.
It is coming today.
I want to know what Dodger, Elvis's grandmother, really thought of Priscilla. That would be interesting. Didn't she die in 1980, Dodger? Right, so... Anyway, guys, it's time to go. Time to go. We'll be back. Right. We'll be back later. I'm going to try and do a phone live today as well. I read somewhere that Dodger was very mad at Priscilla for starving herself during the pregnancy and riding horses, and Priscilla acts like they were very close. Melissa, that is a whole nother video. That is a whole nother video. So it is, just so you know, guys, it's 9:51 a.m. in England. Wherever you are in the world, I'm sending you love. If you're waking up later, good morning to you. And many of you are up in the middle of the night watching me now, so I really appreciate that. So my last thing I'm going to ask of you guys, when you go on to other Elvis channels, please give our channel a mention so that we can get them to give us a mention. If I ever see you guys on other channels, I'll always say hello to you. I'll always call you Team Elvis. So Team Elvis, taking care of business. We are going to get ourselves out there as much as possible together. Remember, we are Team Elvis. I am Team Elvis. We've had a brilliant chat this morning, guys. Goodbye. Goodbye to all of you. Ta-da!